Hello YouTube. I've managed to get a few projects, big projects out of the way, so I've got a bit of free time. I've had some huge projects that have just been monkeys on my back, gorillas on my back for the last month or so. So it's been lovely to see the back of those all signed off, all approved, gone. So I've got a bit of time to do a video, and I've been promising wanting to do this one for quite a while, and it's a response video to James Evans, and it's the top or the worst 5 video game box arts in my collection. I thought this was going to be easy, and I thought I was going to unearth some absolute horrors, but it hasn't been that bad. There's a lot of mediocrity out there in my collection, and it was difficult actually shuffling through them to find the worst of the worst. I mean, most of the games aren't too bad in all honesty. Maybe that's a sign that I've just got an amazing games library, or just fortunate that the box art isn't too bad. I'm going to go through my top 5 or worst 5 in chronological order to system. Now, the first one I'm going to start with is for the Spectrum, and I think the majority of the Spectrum games that I've got anyway are really, really good. There's a few turkeys, sure, but I find this one an absolute dog, and it's always irked me, this one, even when I was a kid and I owned it, and that's Where the Exploding Fist. I'm going to put a zoomed up, zoomed in picture. This guy's really, I think the word is derpy, isn't it? Face here, it just looks wrong. He looks terrifying as well. But there's that one. Yeah, usually with the very early Spectrum games, the box art's really, really good to, average, but for me, that one's just poor. Great game though, classic game. Next for the Master System. Now hang on a second before I know I'm going to be lynched for this. Stuff like this. Don't mind the grid system, fine. Don't mind the blue typography. Bit bland, but I don't mind. Don't even mind this little image. It's not this box, by the way. It's graphic, nice little graphical sort of illustration style, that one. You got simple things like this, don't mind it. Tells you what's going on, a little bit of detail in there. Lots of shade and gradient of colour. Don't mind that one. I even don't mind, again, another little graphical one there. Don't really mind it. Okay, Fazillion, really love that game, by the way. Another great game. Wonder Boy, not the best, getting worse, but that's not it. The one I want to talk about, I mean, there are other bad games. I think it's the Super Series, isn't it? Sports and things, and that classic wrestling image with Matey's head between, this headless wrestler with his head in his arm. Absolutely ridiculous. But the one I really don't like is this one. I mean, this is basically our Rambo First Blood, I believe. Look at that. Look at this person. It looks like a Playmobil character. Terrible, terrible illustration. I'm sorry. Don't mind the white gridded cases. Got no problem with that. Product at the time. Blue text, fine. But that illustration is just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. What an androgynous character. I mean, look at the arm as well. It's all warped. Terrible, terrible illustration. Surely anyone could do better than that. Right, bit of a rant, that one. Sound off in the comments below if you don't agree. Next, we're going to go to the N64. This one isn't terrible. I mean, the actual art of it's not bad, but for me, it just doesn't really say anything about the game, and that's Fighter's Destiny. Just this kind of, it's the Ryu equivalent character on the front. Just his head, just staring at you, and it doesn't. I think they sort of missed an opportunity here, because this one is regarded as, and it's not really much of a claim, to be one of the best fighting games on the N64. Now, I did own this one back in the day. Thought it was all right. But my friend Matty up at the farm, he owned a PlayStation with Tekken, and I think by this time it was Tekken 2, and this just cannot compete in any shape or form. You had a very limited character roster with these, and of course you never, because of the cartridge rather than CD, you didn't have these huge FMV finished, final videos, final movies when you completed the game with any one character. But yeah, the game's not amazing. I do need to boot this one up again and have a look, but yeah, it was all right. It was just grateful, I think, to get a semi-decent or okay fighting game on the N64, but there's that one. Again, it's not a terrible box art, but again, I was really struggling. Right, over to the PlayStation 2, and this is poor. Apparently the game's not too bad. I've only got this one for £1 in a charity shop. It's free running, so parkour, running through over buildings and doing your acrobatics. I guess you probably score points for that, but yeah, the illustration is just basically one of the character models that looks like lifted from the actual graphics of this game, the engine of this game, and just plopped on the front with really dull graphics and typography there. Yeah, poor, very poor. That's number 4. And number 5 for the Dreamcast. I've sort of gone a bit out of sequence here, haven't I, with the Dreamcast and the PlayStation 2, is, again, this one isn't terrible, but yeah, it just doesn't really do anything for me. It's just like this mashup of, this Blue Comet. Again, I haven't played this game yet, so I'm assuming maybe that's the Blue Stinger. I don't know. Or the Blue Stinger the gun? Don't know. But you've just got one of the character models there just dumped on the top. It looks quite blah. And then it's just a very cheap kind of composition. I just don't like it. And that's it. That's it. I mean, like I said, they're not, these aren't terrible. These really annoy me, and that one's poor. But yeah, that's my 5. So what I'm going to do is leave the original video from James Evans in the description below. Go and check his out. I think there's quite a few YouTubers now that have done a video response to this. Again, comment below, maybe do a VR. Thanks very much. We'll be back very soon with some more videos. Till then, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again.